So this weekend, Coach Prime in Colorado played host to a bevy of talented prospects from all around the nation, something we lightly touched on Friday, but today we're not going to be touching on that. We're not going to talk about the impressive collection of talent Coach Prime has been able to assemble this junior day. Instead, we need to talk about something else that I find very impressive: the coaching staff Coach Prime has been able to assemble. Because since we last spoke, news has broke about a coach that's going to be joining this staff, something I don't find inherently surprising, but something we've got to talk about nonetheless, because Mike Zimmer is set to join Coach Prime in Colorado, something we've got to break down. Before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I've got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you surprised that Mike Zimmer is joining Colorado and Coach Prime? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below, because those interactions are massive and we're on a push to 20,000 subscribers. I'd love nothing more than to have you a part of this unbelievable community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And I'm going to go ahead and pull off the Band-Aid, ruin any spoilers right now, and answer the question I posed to all of you in the intro. Are you surprised that Mike Zimmer has followed Coach Prime from JSU to Colorado? And the answer to me is no. These two have a pre-existing relationship that is obviously very positive. Mike Zimmer, the former head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, went and worked with Coach Prime when he was at Jackson State, so it makes complete sense to me that he would follow him from Jackson State to Colorado. And this is really impressive. One of the things I've talked about at length, one of the things PG has talked about at length, Jay with Unfair Sports has talked about, is that the collection of talent Coach Prime is assembling, that's impressive. Right now, the name of the game for Colorado is talent acquisition, and Coach Prime is doing a phenomenal job at it. But what's equally as impressive is the names Coach Prime is surrounding himself with. That shows me this is for real. This is a for real situation, and it's why I'm so intrigued to see how it all comes together. Because it'd be one thing if this was just an immense collection of talent with the players, but it's not just that. It's the players, it's the coaches, it's the total package. And one thing I think I had misunderstood Coach Prime on, whenever he came and did that initial meeting that went viral with all the players of Colorado, and he said, "I'm coming, and I'm bringing my luggage, and it's Louis." I thought he was referring to players, and now it's very clear to me that he was referring about the total package. He wasn't just referring to players. He was referring to players. He was referring to the coaching staff he was going to bring in, and if we really take a deep dive into this coaching staff, it's very impressive. Something we're going to do in a few weeks. I want to give some more time, let that pass, let the official role of Mike Zimmer come out. That way we have a more complete understanding of what this staff is going to look like. You have established names. You have veterans. You have former head coaches at the collegiate level in Sean Lewis, the offensive coordinator. You have former NFL head coaches in Mike Zimmer. You have up-and-comers in a Nick Williams. No matter where you look, no matter the style of coaching you want, whether that's established or a young guy who's an up-and-comer that maybe these prospects can relate to a little bit easier, Coach Prime has them in the building. That's one of the reasons why I've been so interested in the future of Colorado. It's not just the recruiting, though. That is one of my favorite aspects of the sport of college football, is recruiting. I love recruiting. To tell you all a quick story as to why recruiting is so intriguing to me, it's because I've watched what recruiting has done, not only for the individuals who have gone through the process, but for the towns that those individuals come from. My hometown was really positively affected when two of my really good friends ended up going from high school football and played college football. The hope it gave that town was palpable, because for the first time in a long time, the youth in that town were able to look at two people they had looked up to growing up, whether they were in their own grade, such as myself, or the younger kids in the town. We all knew how talented these two individuals were. We knew the futures they could have. And watching them go and pursue greatness from high school to college, well, that gave everybody else the belief that they could also pursue greatness. It really reminds me of one of my favorite quotes ever from my favorite movie, Coach Carter. What is your deepest fear? Well, our deepest fear is not that we are powerless. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond all measure. It is when we find our light that we subconsciously give others permission to find their light as well. And that's why I think recruiting is so key. And that's a long-winded explanation. We've kind of gotten derailed from the topic, but it still pertains. Because you're getting in these coaches, right, that these recruits are going to be able to buy into. And so you're perpetuating the hope that I find so important. And that certainly isn't relegated to just Colorado. That's a thing with college football in general, but I did want to tie all that in there. But this is something we've got to watch. This staff has got some heavyweight names on it, such as a Charles Kelly, which, by the way, do me a favor real quick. Go to the 24/7 Sports page, look at the player rankings, and then on the right-hand side of that website, there'll be a rank of who the top recruiters were in the nation in the class of 2023. You know who number 1 was? Charles Kelly, your defensive coordinator. He is an elite recruiter, and now you're stacking a Nick Williams, a Coach Prime, a Charles Kelly, and by the way, Mike Zimmer's on the staff. You get the picture I'm painting here. This staff is very impressive, and because of that, I can't wait to hear from all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, we're going to be doing a deep dive into this staff once the position officially comes out for Mike Zimmer. That way I just have a greater understanding of what everybody's roles will be, and then we're going to do a deep dive. We might spend an hour on it, really going through all the names, giving their history, and giving why I think it's a great hire. But until then, hop down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.